Okay, so we are presenting our project for the product launch action plan for our product, which is the alcoholic vending machine. So our executive team that we have, I am Mary, I'm the CEO, Dean is the CFO, Megan is the COO, and Will is the marketing director. So from our project, from the very first slides, just to tell you a bit about our product. Like I said, we are selling alcoholic vending machines. Our company is going to be called Easy Liquor. The purpose of this product is so that consumers may purchase alcohol from our machines with the insertion of identification of age, to make it easier to then walking into, say, a liquor store or grocery store to purchase, especially if they just want one single item. Our target consumers are 21 to 50-year-olds, and our biggest competition is definitely the liquor industry as a whole, and just in terms of how it is being sold through other outlets, like I said, through grocery stores or any sort of liquor store in general, or bars also. And our mission and vision is to provide everyone's favorite products in the easiest way with the easiest access, ensuring safe and legal purchasing for all.
All right, so then to get into our launch strategy, what we talked about in our FP2 presentation was kind of what our product's about. Our product is for those who are on the go and are looking for an alternative to liquor stores. We're mainly targeting small scale events such as like sporting events, bars, restaurants, concerts, where people are consuming a lot of alcohol and might not want to wait in long lines to purchase their alcohol. We are going to be featuring products from national and local brands. So obviously these local brands will change based on where we have vending machines at. But we will have some national and well-known brands that are kind of carried in our machines throughout our locations. We will operate in both Japan and the US, where Japan is where these alcoholic vending machines originated. So we wanted to keep some of our business over there, as well as bring it over to the US, which was our plan in the beginning. And we will actually begin our production in Japan and then eventually move it to the US. All right, so then to get into our HR and to focus on hiring, we will employ both an international and a US staff, which our international staff will be located in Japan. This will allow for proper management of both divisions. And our plan overall, as you can see in this chart, is that we'll have a leaner operations in Japan, mainly just to start out there, and then the goal is to move most of our operations and our sales. And the bulk of the operations and expansions, like I said, is going to be in the US. And then here's our hiring breakdown. So as you can see, most of our Japanese employees at those locations will be mainly part-time, and only a small, about a quarter of our employees will be full-time. And then in the United States, it's the opposite. We have mostly full-time employees and fewer part-time, just like I said, to just move our operations over to the US mostly, but also keep a presence in Japan. And then so this is going to be kind of our organizational structure and our breakdown, just how it is right now. This isn't everything, but this is just kind of our main points. So as you can see at the top, we have our CEO, Mary, and then the three of us, we have the director of marketing, which is Will, myself is the COO, and then Dean is the CFO. And you can kind of just see the breakdown here of we have our advertising and sales, which will have both US and Japanese operations and a team in each respective country. Manufacturing will take place in both US and Japan. Same as with like HR, our recruitment will be both for our US and Japan staff. So we'll be doing on-site recruitment in those respective countries. Staff development, same thing there. And And then with our finance and accounting, most of that will be done in our US location, but we will also have smaller divisions and smaller departments of both of those respective departments in Japan as well. All right, and then so moving on to our benefits plan, just to hit on some key points, we'll have our paid time off, 30 days for our part-time employees, 60 days for our full-time. And then if there's any more requests, those can be submitted as needed. Sick leave, we'll have unlimited sick days for both our part-time and full-time employees, but it will be paid for only our full-time employees. Part-time will have unpaid, unlimited sick leave. Health insurance, full coverage. We of course don't have a health insurance company yet that we're working with, but that will be in the works coming up. But we will plan to offer full coverage with dental, eye, and any other miscellaneous coverages that are needed by our employees. There will be part-time and full-time plans. Those may vary based on our US and our Japanese operations. Those might vary a little bit, but again, it'll be full coverage. And then just some other benefits that we thought we would like to include is overall just discounts with our partners. So like Budweiser, any of our other wineries, beer companies, things like that, offer our employees a discount with them when they want to go buy their beers or go to their wineries or breweries. Something that we thought would be fun would be a beer 30, which is employees may enjoy a beverage at 4 p.m. every Friday. So just kind of get our employees trying our products and being able to then tell their friends about the different beers and wines that they're trying. Paid time off for both parents if they're having children, daycare, babysitting stipend, and then remote and flexible work options for our employees.
Okay, so next we're going to be moving into our finances. Our CFO will be in charge of that, mostly Dean. We're going to be breaking it down between which international bank we'll be using, our funding sources, our budgets, which will eventually go into our break-even analysis as well. Then we'll go into our manufacturing costs, our labor costs, and our marketing costs.
So for our international bank, I looked into banks in Japan and banks in the US. Local banks don't really cut it for us having operations in both Japan and the US. And what I've been reading from what I saw, reports say that banking in America is more convenient. There's more access to your money from many locations, and online banking is a big key that we're farther ahead of Japan. So I chose Charles Schwab Bank for ours. It's one of the better of the two international banks that are located in the US for a couple reasons for us. Firstly, Charles Schwab has no fees on transfers to foreign currency. This will save about 2 to 3% each time we send money over to our Japan branch, or alternatively from the Japan branch over the US. So that way, whenever we're doing our financial statements at the end, they can be more accurate. Due to that, this also includes withdrawals from ATMs. Fees, if they are charged, depending on the ATM, they're always reimbursed regardless due to that. And then there's also a very convenient mobile banking app. It's very robust. You can do it from anywhere. You can adjust your accounts if we're doing a trip to Japan or if we're on the road trying to find some of our machines. And then there's a flat rate interest as long as you keep at least $1,000 in your account. And then our funding sources. Our main source of outside funding will be from sponsorships and payments by companies for space within our displays. So sponsorships, they allow companies to have displays on the outside of our machines as advertising. These displays are typically going to be contract based, and they can range from anywhere to 1 to 5 years. And then the shelf space will be sold monthly as a buyout of a shelf. So we'll have space allocated in each machine for beer, wine, and then liquor if available in certain states. A single brand can take up to a third of the shelving space of a drink type, and we only sell out half of that in at maximum per drink type because we don't want local brands to be out of space in our machines. We also give discounts to partnering companies. These will allow discounts on sponsorships and shelving space. And then to garner additional funds in the onset for our move, we may need to get loans depending on turnout of sponsorship and space buyouts. Okay, so this is a rough budget of what I came up with from some of the general information. Before loans, where as long as we get what we would like out of sponsorships and monthly fees, we're looking at anywhere around like 118, basically 118 million. And our high end of expenses, this is including employee salary, licenses that allow us to sell up to liquor in every state, company space, that's for having our machines installed around companies. The energy would cost to keep these machines active, office and warehouse space for us, and storing our machines and vehicles, trucks we would use to like transport and for eventual use to load further products into it. Gas for each of them, the vending machines themselves, cost to acquire our products that we're selling, so all the beer and whatnot, and then additional expenses like marketing, electricity for our uses, office equipment, etc., stuff like that. On the high end, I didn't try and budget low so that way we could be under our budget. This is the highest we'd expect our expenses to be in year one. It's about 132 million total. Collectively, though, I don't think we'll hit most of the numbers for licensing, employee salaries, or the miscellaneous expense, and it could drop below what our budget is. But just to cover our highest, we would need loans of about 13 million.
Okay, so we decided that it would be necessary to do a break-even analysis just to see where we would be standing in order to make a profit eventually. It is going to take some time, but hopefully with the correct amount of advertising and such, we can get there. So I based this sale price based on the projected sales, the money we'll get from sponsorships, as well as the monthly fees we'll be collecting as well. So it'd be around per unit or around $59,450, which is definitely more expensive than your typical vending machine. But of course, the products that we will be having will be much more expensive than your typical vending machine. So the sale price is expected to be much higher. I took into account Dean's fixed costs that he listed, such as wages, offices and warehouses, and energy that will be acquired for a total of around $57 million. His variable costs that he collected, such as licenses, trucks and gas, materials, and miscellaneous expenses, was around $74 million. So in order to do the break-even analysis, we took the fixed costs and divided them by the sales price per unit as well as the variable cost per unit. And we came up with approximately 2,560 units that will be required to meet that break-even point. So we are hoping to reach that within a year. We are not positive that will happen, especially since it is such a high number for such a single product that will be seen on the premises of where they will be purchased. So we will see how long it takes. Again, we are hopeful, but only time will tell within the means of how we get there. So we broke down a little bit more about the manufacturing and the transportation costs it will require. So for manufacturing, like we said in the very beginning, we are planning to have our plants mostly in Japan, or specifically in Japan, just starting out. We would like to keep them there to keep costs low, especially since they already have plants there, because this is where we got the idea for the product from. So we're hoping that once the break-even point has been achieved, we will begin looking into expanding into the US as well for manufacturing plants, just to also give jobs to other people in the United States and make it more of a US-based company. So we plan to have office spaces in San Francisco, California, and Austin, Texas, which is where we may also in the future put our manufacturing plants as well. Right now, we see those two as excellent cities for startups, such as a company like this, and also for a product that people could be interested in. We are going to put more products experimentally into other cities, major cities, mostly around the US, in order to see how it performs. But for now, that's where we will be starting. In terms of transportation, of course, we'll be leasing trucks for transportation to get our products to wherever they need to go. It will require specific packaging because our products are going to require probably assembly, but also there's going to be very many fragile products as well. Part of the product, so that we need to take into account how much it is going to cost in order to transport that safely to whoever needs them. We also need to take into account transportation from Japan, from the manufacturing products. I don't have that listed here. But we do as well need to take that into account because it's going to be the same thing with requiring specific packaging from Japan to ensure their safety to here as well, and also just the cost of that sort of transportation.
So I'll be discussing our labor costs, which is the sum of the wages paid for employees directly and indirectly, and it could also be the cost of employee benefits, payroll taxes by us. Now, projectively, we were thinking about having 35% of our gross sales be the entire labor costs for our company, but my idea was to split it because we have two main locations for our company, that being Japan and America. With the majority of the workers being part-time and less people coming in and out with Japan, I would like to say that the percentage would be 15%. Well, it would be 20% in America because the majority of the workers would be full-time. And for our marketing costs, I'll be discussing our expenses first, and these can range from research and staffing, equipment, design and development, and advertising. And for our marketing plan, the average marketing plan in general for our industry is around $10,000 to $40,000 plus. And for our beginning plan, we have a projected budget between $10,000 to $20,000. For our grand opening, we were thinking about having it in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, where we would be showcasing our product to the mass media. And around 20% of the first year marketing budget will go into this event, and at least a minimum of $6,000. And you might be asking why that much? Well, it covers the venue, advertising, catering, and we want to make an impact while not spending too much money on an event. And that was the main premise as to why the budget is the way it is for the grand opening. I want to thank you for your time and welcome the future of vending. If anyone wants to say anything, you can say.
That's it. Thank you for watching, and we hope you enjoy our product and partake in its future.